the XPeng G6. It has a ducktail.
This is actually nice to do. You can do this with this car. Just cruise around at 200. So although it's called launch mode, you don't really have a launch mode.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Martin, and today we're taking a look at this, the XPeng G6. And not just any G6, this is the performance version. So that means we have 487 horsepower, and it'll do 0 to 100 in about 4.2 seconds, over 200 kilometers an hour top speed. And what I really like about this, it has a ducktail. I think that's a really cool design feature. Beautiful Michelin Pilot Sport EV tires, really good. They're really silent, and they have a lot of traction, so that's really good. I think overall the car is actually quite handsome, nice side profile there, and the performance is really good. And same goes for the interior, because the leather is really beautiful and soft. Does feel like high quality stuff. We have this 2-spoke steering wheel. I actually always like a 2-spoke. Dual chargers right there. Nice screen. It's not too large. Response is really nice. And the USP of this car, it'll do 500 kilometers on a full charge, WLTP as you can see, and from 10 to 80% fast charging in 12 minutes. Now that is revolutionary. Let's see what it's like to drive. So what is the XPeng G9 like to drive? Let's head over to all the driving modes, and you have Eco, Comfort, Sport, Individual. So in Individual you can alter the power response, power steering, brake pedal feel, and the regen. So quite elaborate. And in Sport mode we also have Launch mode, which gives it a little more power, just a little, and it makes the ESC a bit more playful. So let's give that a try. We have all these weird little noises. So although it's called launch mode, you don't really have a launch mode, if that makes any sense. So I don't have to do a brake boost or something like that. So the claimed 0 to 100 time is 4.13 seconds. Quite specific. Let's see if it'll actually do that. But let's first see what it's like to drive in general. So you notice that it's shorter in wheelbase compared to the G9, and that makes it more playful and a bit nicer in terms of dynamics and balance. With the G9 you do notice the fact that, you know, it's ultra comfortable, ultra soft, and this is a bit more European, I would say. So on these curvy roads it's very nice, especially in combination with those Michelin tires. It's not the quickest steering rack, but it's very balanced, very neutral, so it does exactly what it needs to do. It does have a lot of safety systems, so there's a lot of nannies watching where you're going, what your eyes are focused on, and if you're paying attention, stuff like that. So you can turn it all off. .31. So we now have a 72% charge, so that might be it. Should do 4.2, 4.16, so it'll probably do that with 100%. But it is a very nice amount of power, very convincing. But you do notice that they don't want it to be like brutal, like when you mash the throttle, they don't want you to break your neck. So you do sense that they sort of mapped it to be fluent. So when you just mash the throttle, you have this curvy power delivery instead of this instant blow that snaps your neck. And I actually think that's the right choice. There's actually quite a lot of feel in the brake pedal, which surprised me. And there's that little playfulness from the ESC system in launch mode. It
does a little wheel spin on the rear axle. And this is actually quite nice. So you notice that, you know, with higher speeds the steering becomes a little more firm, a bit more direct. And that calibration they've done really well, I'd say. I'm actually quite surprised at how well they've done that. So now I feel all the power coming on. That's 431. Again, it is so consistent. I had the same thing with the G9, but the power delivery is super consistent. Of course, thanks to that 800 volt architecture, so it doesn't suffer from heat development as much as the 400 volt systems. They've done a good job there. Okay, let's see what you will do. 100 to 200. So 13.6, 100 to 200. Let's put her back into launch mode and see if we can do top speed. And let's talk about the handling. Let's pull a little gap, do another measurement. Foot down. It definitely doesn't feel as fast as the G9 Performance, but it's still, that's a 13.61, so again very consistent because of that 800 volt architecture. Should do 200, it's actually doing 2.7 GPS, so that's also quite good. And you can really feel the balance of the air suspension, very nicely dampened. And those Michelin tires, they don't make any noise. You get so much traction, so much balance, so much security. Look at this. It could probably do a lot quicker than this, but you know, this is actually nice to do. You can do this with this car. Just cruise around at 200, pull into a charging station, charge it up for 10 minutes, and you're all good again. Then you can go full throttle. That's always the big critical point with electric cars up until now, because this will actually do that. So this is such a nice cruising experience. Completely relentless. So guys, that was it, the XPeng G6 Performance. I think quite a revolution on the electric car market, and I think for people who like to go fast to their holiday destination in comfort, this is probably the best EV out there today. Well, together with the G9, of course, that might be even a bit better, but it's also more expensive. So if you can, and you like driving on the Autobahn, you like going a bit faster, I think one of these XPengs is actually a pretty decent choice. Thank you guys for watching. Go subscribe to the channel, go check out this video, or go check out this playlist. Thanks guys, bye.